It was supposed to be a quiet California morning in Montecito, the kind of day where the Pacific breeze drifts lazily through the palm trees and everyone pretends life is perfect. But behind the gates of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's mansion, the calm shattered. According to explosive whispers making their way across royal circles, Harry discovered the kind of confession no husband ever wants to hear. Delivered not by Meghan herself, but by her own mother, Doria Ragland. The revelation? Meghan had allegedly told Doria from the very start that marrying Harry wasn't about love at all. It was a calculated move for global fame and power. Imagine finding out your worst fears about your spouse were not just suspicions but cold, strategic truths. That's the moment Harry reportedly snapped, throwing Meghan out of Montecito after years of standing by her side. If you're picturing the scene, you're not alone. It's the kind of drama that feels straight out of a Netflix script. Ironic, given Meghan's past dealings with the streaming giant. But what makes this story so gripping isn't just the scandal. It's the very human question behind it. What happens when love collides with ambition? And more importantly, when loyalty gets tested against truth? The story begins with Doria Ragland's bombshell. Close sources claim that in a moment of brutal honesty, she told Harry what Meghan had once confided. That he wasn't chosen out of romance, but out of strategy. Think about that for a second. Imagine being Harry, already torn between two worlds, his royal heritage and his California freedom. For years, he has defended Meghan against the press, the palace, even his own family. To suddenly hear from your mother-in-law that the woman you left everything behind for may have seen you as a stepping stone? It's the kind of emotional gut punch no prince or person could ignore. The idea of marrying into fame isn't new, but it hits differently when it's cloaked in the language of love. Meghan and Harry's whirlwind romance once looked like a modern fairy tale. The Hollywood actress meets the British prince, love conquers all, and the crown bends ever so slightly to modernity. Yet behind closed doors, this revelation paints a darker picture, one where love was part of the packaging, but ambition was the product. And if you've ever been in a relationship where you wondered, do they love me, or for what I can do for them? You know exactly why this cut Harry so deeply. The confrontation that followed, sources suggest, was anything but quiet. Harry, red-faced and heartbroken, demanded answers. Meghan, who had built her brand on the image of empowerment, empathy, and authenticity, suddenly found herself on the defensive. For Harry, the confession wasn't just about marriage, it was about identity. He had left behind his royal duties, his military ties, even strained his bond with his brother William, all in the name of protecting Meghan and their new life together. If her intentions were rooted in fame, then what had he sacrificed for? This is where the story moves from private heartbreak to public fascination. Because while most of us will never know what it's like to live in a palace, we do know what it feels like to question someone's motives. Have you ever replayed old conversations in your head, realizing they meant something very different in hindsight? Harry reportedly did just that. Looking back at Meghan's relentless media ventures, her carefully curated interviews, and even the high-profile friendships that bloomed after their wedding. Suddenly, the pattern didn't look like coincidence. It looked like choreography. Doria's role in this drama makes it even more compelling. A mother usually protects her child at all costs, but here, she became the unlikely whistleblower. Why would she do it? Was it guilt? Honesty? A sense that Harry deserved to know the truth before the cracks widened further? Whatever her reasoning, her words reportedly lit the fuse that changed everything. And if you've ever been caught in the crossfire of family confessions, you know that sometimes the truth doesn't just set you free. It burns down the entire room. The fallout has been described as nothing short of devastating. Neighbors in Montecito claim Meghan left in tears, while Harry was seen pacing the grounds, refusing to take calls. The very mansion that once symbolized their escape from the rigid formality of Buckingham Palace now stood as the scene of their unraveling. And isn't that the irony? They ran from one cage only to find themselves trapped in another. This time of mistrust, ambition, and broken hearts. So what happens now? That's the question echoing across both sides of the Atlantic. For Harry, this moment could redefine his future. Does he forgive Meghan and rebuild on shaky ground? Or does he finally walk away, reclaiming the independence he thought he already had? For Meghan, the fallout could be even harsher. If the perception of her as a fame-seeker sticks, every venture, from her lifestyle brand to her Hollywood projects, might be seen through the lens of calculation rather than authenticity. And in an industry built on image, perception can be everything. For the rest of us, there's a bigger takeaway here than just royal gossip. It's about relationships, ambition, and the delicate balance between love and personal goals. How many times have you heard someone joke about marrying rich or dating up? Yet when those jokes turn into reality, the cost is often heavier than anyone expects. Harry and Meghan's saga is just a high-profile version of a very human story. When motives clash with emotions, the fallout is messy, painful, and unforgettable. And maybe that's why we can't look away. Because beneath the tiaras, the Netflix deals, and the Montecito mansions, there's a man who just wanted to be loved for himself, and a woman who may have wanted more than that love could give her. It's not just their story. In many ways, it's ours too. Haven't we all, at some point,